Hillary Clinton officially becomes a Democratic nominee today, but she's still facing a major rebellion from Bernie Sanders backers. Charlie Gaspro standing by with former New York Congressman Anthony Weiner. Charlie, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Charles. Anthony, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
I know I'm second to Steve Colbert, but I'll take
welcome,
it.
Welcome. This is when do you go up there and accept your nomination as Treasury Secretary? When's that happening?
Is that on the docket?
Dude, we are totally bipartisan around here. We're all different kinds of Democratic, you know, whatever.
Even the Democratic with the conservative next to it.
Yeah, we got one or two of those. I think we put them up there, the conservative Democrat. We put them up there.
That is where my office is.
Exactly.
But let's go through it. Little full disclosure. You're not part of the campaign. You're just a house dad these days.
Totally. I mean, I kibitz about it and I talk about it. It's actually, we have a firewall in the house, and it's better for me this way. I can
Your wife obviously is.
Yeah, she's the vice chair of the campaign.
Okay. What I always appreciated about you was that you were a fighter. You took on anybody. You didn't care. This is going to be, you know, Hillary Clinton's against a fighter. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, he's a tough guy. Does she have the chutzpah, the toughness to go toe-to-toe with him every day?
Well, look, I mean, the fact of the matter is when you're Secretary of State, you're kind of going toe-to-toe with the crazies around the world all the time. And she was the most traveled Secretary of State in history. She's shown that she can do it. She's shown that she can do it quietly as well. You know, a lot of the original openings to Iran, whatever you think about the lifting of the sanctions, everyone agrees the sanction regime was pretty impressive. She helped put that in place. She's a very tough customer, and believe me, you know, you've got to be around as long as she has been. To be a senator from New York, you've got to have like a rhinoceros hide. So I think that the problem is not going to be how tough she is. It's whether or not Donald Trump is going to sound crazy, and the balance that you got to strike. You know, you and I both remember Hillary Clinton had a Senate race against a guy named Rick Lazio, who made the mistake during a debate of even just taking a step towards her on the debate.
Walked up to her and she ate him up a lot.
And that seemed at the time, she didn't have to do all that much. It just seemed like it was too far. So, I mean, we'll have to see.
Okay, coming into this place today, there are iron gates. And on the other side of the iron gates are a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters who are really mad. Even with him, with his speech last night, it doesn't seem like it worked. It seems like there's still a huge faction of those supporters that are going to boycott this election. What do you think?
It could be. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is conventions are when organizations, in our case the Democratic organization, tries to pick the best candidate for president. That's our job. Okay, that doesn't mean that we pick someone who's unanimous. So there might be some people, but I find it's just so hard to believe that anyone who's out there, I want legalized marijuana, I want $15 minimum wage, I want pension reform, is going to vote for Donald Trump. And by staying home, the reality is you're casting a vote for Donald Trump. So I don't think that's going to happen to large numbers.
Okay, Donald Trump has very high negatives. Hillary Clinton has some very high negatives. Do you think the email scandal is something she can get away from? Because, I mean, James Comey used some pretty tough language.
Yeah, I have to tell you something. Look, I mean, I bet you if tomorrow I went to your editor's desk and opened up all his emails, there'd be some embarrassing things in there, too. We get that, and it's a problem, and she said she made a mistake. But to be honest with you, I don't believe that the American people, when they're choosing a president, wants to figure out, you know, who knew the most about a server in wherever the building it was.
Well, this wasn't really like what was in the content. This was like that she basically violated or circumvented the established rules.
Well, as it turned out, the Comey said it wasn't an intentional thing in order to hide anything. It was a function of what she said, that she didn't give it a great deal of thought. And to be honest with you, the Secretary of State, I'm glad she's not giving a great deal of thought of where her emails are. And let's remember something else that should be kept in mind here. You know, just because something is classified, there are things that are classified secret that I can see on your show. Okay, yeah, this
show me some, please.
Well, no, secret classification, sensitive classifications. When I was in Congress, they would give us briefings all the time about things that they said that we could not reveal. And part of the reason they did it is so public officials couldn't talk about them in public. So don't fall in love with the notion that there are secrets being held from the American people. I mean, I don't believe that that's necessarily some important thing. And remember something, there were a tiny fraction of them. It was a mistake that she made. But honestly, if you believe that you're going to make a decision on who should be president based on that, not who's most qualified, who's got the temperament, and all those other things, I don't want you to vote if you really think that's the most important thing.
What I love about you, you're an honest guy. You took money from Donald Trump.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Donald Trump was handicapping who was going to be mayor. He's purely transactional. He can't be relied upon or trusted
but you
for anything.
took it. If he was, you've called him a xenophobe, a racist.
Yeah.
If he's really that, I mean, did he change overnight? I mean, he must have been that when you took the money.
No, here's what he is. He's a transparent phony. Yeah, we've got a lot of record of things that he's done that's shown his phoniness.
If David Duke gave you a contribution, you'd give it back, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
Why didn't you give back Donald's?
Give back? First of all, I'm nobody. I give them from what? From my pocket? The campaign's long. You gave it to me in 2004.
No.
Fine. Donald, you want it? Chickie, come get it. Come get, whatever, your $4,800 that you gave me. No, Donald Trump gave it to me because because he thought I was a great politician.
But he wasn't a racist back then, right?
He's always been a bit of an ass.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, right? Can I say that? I left out the last part of it. He's always been a bit of an ass. Anyone from New York, hey, as we say in Yiddish, tachlis, you know it too. He's always been a bit of an ass. But
I prefer junkyard dog.
But I got to say something. I don't, when I'm raising money to run for office, I mean, I don't want someone who's done anything illegal. I mean, yeah, should I maybe take the guy that bankrupted? I know a lot more about Donald Trump today. Everything I hear about Donald Trump makes me like him less. But should I give him back the money? If I had any money to give him, I guess I'd give it back. What I'd really do, here's what I would do. If I still had his money, I would take it and write a check to Hillary Clinton. That's what I would take. Just to piss him off.
Do you think he's worth $10 billion? You know.
Oh, if this guy, I got to tell you something. You gather 10 people here, we're worth more than Donald Trump is.
Really? Why do you say that? Is it all paper money? It's all,
first of all, the guy hasn't built anything successfully in years. He puts his name on things. And by the way, do you want to have Trump as your name on anything? If you want to have a Spanish-speaking visitor, a Muslim visitor, or a common sense visitor, you're not going to have Donald Trump's name on it.
Well, he says the Hispanics love him.
Oh yeah. Okay. I would say this. Here's what you're going to see next. Right after this campaign, there's going to be all kinds of lawsuits, people tearing Trump off their buildings, and if they're
okay. But if
so like even the things in that video that he did in that dumpster fire of a convention that they had, even that was phony. He said he built the west side of Manhattan. He did not. He had to be bailed out from the west side of Manhattan. He said he came across from Queens. Well, honestly, we chased him out of Queens.
Okay, but aren't you from Brooklyn?
I am, but I represented Queens.
But let me ask you
I speak for the boroughs.
Okay, so you call that a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I was here.
Oh my God, that was a disaster.
Okay, but listen.
Even Fox was like holding their heads.
Did you listen to Paul Simon last night? Did you think he was good?
I missed Paul Simon. I love
Why is
Paul
that?
Simon.
Why did you miss him?
I can't remember.
That was so bad.
You're going to give me a hard time because Paul Simon is not, maybe he's lost a little bit off his fastball, but did you see the video that Paul Simon, in America?
Charlie Gasparino and Anthony Weiner reminiscing about last night and some pretty interesting stories about Donald Trump. I want to Trump watch that. I'm pretty sure he'll tweet it. And I mean,